Yeah, you're going to have to, but it's seeing no data, so go ahead and start.
There, I started. So maybe people will be hearing it and seeing it now. See what my live here says.
We are live.
We are live. Very nice. All right.
We are live.
We are live. Very nice. Well, everybody, thank you for your patience. We had some issues. YouTube did not agree with that first stream. We created a new one, and I think we have it now. So thanks to Jared for your help. And
you're welcome.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get to the topic here, I just want to say thank you to Jared again. Thank you to my patrons. I got a new one today. I hope I get your name right. Idanai Ryan from Facebook. Thank you very much. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you like this, and now I'll introduce you to Anthony Dtime Dunham. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So what's Dtime? Is
It's funny. Nothing specific necessarily. It can mean whatever you want it to mean.
Okay.
In a large sense. Yeah.
So it's not your actual middle name?
No, it is not.
Okay. So people don't know that's what he uses on Facebook for his middle name. So before we do any more, I'm going to do this here. This weekend, Christ Puncher, who's in the chat, came down to Minneapolis to go see Baby Metal. So let me see if I can find it. And he sent me a video. So let's see there. There's us outside of a Mexican restaurant. And then here is, can you see that video? Hopefully I made it kind of big. Let's make it bigger for you. Here we go. See how this sounds. It's a little small and it's vertical. Who does vertical video? And that was Baby Metal. So he came down to see, drove all the way down from Winnipeg with some friends to go see Baby Metal. So I thought I'd do a little, play that a little bit. So thanks a lot for stopping by. Had a good lunch or dinner with them. So, all right. Up to where we're at here. So we got Anthony here. So how did you get into Flat Earth initially? If I can just ask a little bit.
A large amount of time searching and looking on the computer at lots of different things, and all of it coincided pretty well with what I already knew.
All right.
You just kind of, yeah.
Was just about everybody watches Eric Dubé's 200 Proofs. Was that one of them?
No, none of the mainstream stuff really. I was clicked onto it before I found out about Nathan Thompson or Eric Dubé. I looked at Flat Earth Society for probably about 60 seconds and didn't find them interesting. Then, not far down the line, I find out how the controlled opposition and all that good stuff.
All right. Now, a lot of flat earthers on Facebook have research flat Earth on their right on their profile picture. You don't have that, but is that something that you support?
No, it's pretty silly to me. I think 99% out of the time, it's like the globe defenders. Uh, they always have the space pictures, the curve, whatever have you. It's like taking someone seriously with anime as a picture, or their middle name is Dtime. It's questionable, but you got to think for yourself and whittle through the BS and try and figure out what's what and what's real and who's trying to deceive you and so on and so forth. Amen.
All right. Well, so what do you think? Is there evidence for flat Earth?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know, we can talk about all sorts of things. NASA lying. That's always a big and large topic. What, China, was it, or India, in the last 3-4 months ago, landed some sort of, lunar module on the moon. It was very cartoonish and silly, and I guess that was supposed to be taken as the real footage, and
I don't think
so
anybody suggested there was real footage of that happening because it crashed.
Oh, maybe I'm mistaken, but the one I'm thinking of seemed to land pretty safely, even though it was obviously pixelated and not super high gen. So we can go into lies and fake looking stuff. We'll say it like that. Or we can talk about water. I feel that pretty much shuts down most things pretty quickly by itself. And there's always arguments, and there's always, well, this is the way globe theory works because this is just the way it is, and it's the exception to the rule that normally is always true. Water always seeks its level, level, horizon, horizontal, planet, plane. All those things have to do with level.
Hemisphere. Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's part of the globe theory.
Yep. So yeah, we're you can play word games or actually have evidence. So yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to walk around anything, but planet, plane. They made that word up. Horizon, horizontal.
Do you know what horizon actually means? Where it comes from?
What's that?
The original Greek was limiting circle.
Limiting circle.
Yeah, that's
so impossible to make circle.
It's the limit of what you can see. That's what it means.
Right, but so does horizontal derive from horizon or vice versa? Because horizontal certainly means parallel to a plane and completely flat or level.
It came later. Yep.
No doubt.
So, I see you've got the Earthish flat shirt there with the looks like the not quite Gleason style, because the Australia, for example, isn't horribly distorted. Instead, it's not on the right longitudes.
Yeah. I got it as a friend, as a somewhat ironic joke.
Yeah.
And I figured, might as well, if I have a piece of flat Earth gear, might as well have it. And that's a million times closer to what the globe represents, what the shape of the Earth is, and
So people are asking, off topic here, what kind of room are you in?
An added-on porch.
Okay. There you go, people.
Yeah.
John Rapp. And John, I saw your super chat earlier. Thank you for that. I didn't see what you said. Since we had to redo the stream. So, So it's closer than the globe is. How what makes it better? That map better than the globe?
Well, if you want to go a certain direction, you're going to go over there. You're going to go over there. Maybe you'll go that way, but you ain't going to go down. For instance, if everyone in the world pointed up at the same time, everyone in the world would be pointing in the same direction because up is that direction.
Okay, I don't see how that makes it better or worse. I don't. Can you use that map like to identify where the sun is going to rise, for example? What direction the sun's going to rise? You know, because
I'm sure someone would...
just a couple days ago was the equinox, right?
Was it?
Yeah, and what does like that map suggest is going to be the angle of the equinox of the sunrise?
Oh, I ain't sure. I'm not sure.
Not sure. Well, I did a little bit looking into that.
Okay.
If so, hold on here.
Yeah, I didn't prepare anything or
Yeah, it's all right.
no notes or...
So, here we go. I'm gonna. That doesn't quite look right. I'll send you so you'll see it on your screen. What I'm doing here. Give me just a second. Gonna present a window. There we go. So here is for you can see it, and I got to still edit this a little bit here for our viewers.
That's the mainstream flat Earth logo.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Pretty close, probably.
There we go. All right, there it is. Now everybody can see it. So that is that's a little bit different than yours, but it doesn't matter a whole lot because if the sun is doing circles, is that right? The sun doing circles around the North Pole.
North Pole.
Right. That's what you just suggest. So, all right. So here we have. I just picked a spot on the equator, which is in the middle of Africa, there at 0 degrees north and 20 degrees east.
Okay.
Right. So, and put that on the map there, and so then here is where the sun would be. 6 hours before local noon, right? So it's 1/4 of the way around the globe there, or not the globe, sorry, the disc. So that's where the sun would be at sunrise when you're sitting there on the equator. And so basically everywhere on the equator is going to have the same experience for the direction of sunrise, right? So if we look at the angle there.
I would think so.
What's that?
I would think so. Something pretty similar.
Okay. So, and the horizontal angle is called the azimuth, right? Okay. So there's 45 degrees. Due north is 0 degrees, and there northwest is 45 degrees. And then for sunset, there it's going to be 315 degrees, which is just another 45 off of north, the other direction, right? So now, what direction was sunrise actually observed on the equator?
You tell me.
90 degrees due east was sunrise, and due west was sunset. That map is 45 degrees off That's a lot off.
Yeah, could be.
It's not could be. Like, you agreed that this was, according to your map, the map that's on the shirt there that you have, and the map
Right,
that you
yeah.
agreed to.
Right.
And looking through your
yeah.
Facebook page, an awful lot of your pictures have this exact map on it. Right?
Oh, I wouldn't go that far at all.
Oh,
Not that exact map, no.
Well,
I mean, maybe you could find a post or two out of a couple thousand posts, but
yeah, I found
I'm not a big...
several. I'd be glad to
Yeah.
put some of them up. That was actually from your
Sure.
page. So hold on.
So, how much bigger is the sun than the Earth? And how much smaller is the moon
Well,
than the Earth?
according to the flat Earth, it's
Well, I'm saying under globe logic.
what we're talking right now about this here, right? So we can go to that in a second.
Well,
then.
yeah. What do you... I'm not sure what we're getting at, though. I mean, it seems kind of cherry-picking and loaded.
Well, this isn't
And I'll
cherry picking.
admit
This
that I
is
don't know
an
100%
absolute
what we're...
necessity, right? If the sun is doing circles, right? Then there you really don't have a choice.
Why don't we look at the proof, like the NASA Instagram or something like that, and we can talk about those things.
I don't really care about NASA.
Well, they're like the only reason we believe.
No, not at all. Actually, long before NASA was around, we knew, and so I don't use anything from NASA.
I didn't
really, unless somebody's specifically asking for it.
So you can look at the moon and you can look at the sun with your eyes.
Hold on, are you changing the topic because you're a little bit nervous about this? Right. So here's the thing. You claimed...
If you have a question I can't answer, that's okay.
You completely agreed with this angle. Did you do your research on this map?
I didn't completely agree. No, I did not. I said it's probably something similar to that.
Okay.
As in, the sun will go around a circle.
Something similar. Okay, so what would be something similar? Maybe 40 degrees instead of 45 degrees?
I'm not 100% sure.
Maybe 50 degrees instead of 45 degrees? No, this is actually pretty simple. If the sun is doing circles around the equator, we know where the equator is, right?
Yeah.
Then you really don't have a choice as to where the angle is going to be. This is the angle. Unless you have some other model of how the sun maybe moves around the Earth.
So you're saying the red lines there going directly from land, Africa, to the sun, that's the path of travel?
That's just measuring the angle as relative to north, south, east, west, right?
Okay.
So the map that you like, the map that's on the shirt that's sitting there in front of you, right? That same map that's sitting there in front of you is going to have the same prediction.
There was a difference.
What's that?
When you first the shirt, there's a little difference there, but they are similar maps. They represent...
Actually, that map that you have in the shirt is going to give the exact same angle. Because the equator is a circle, right?
Yeah, but if the continents are different shapes on the maps, then it's probably going to change things, ain't it?
Well, if you're on the equator, don't care where the continents are. It doesn't really matter. The continent can be anything. It can be one big old cat in the middle. If you're on the equator, which is easy to test because on the equinox, the sun is directly overhead for a while.
Okay.
Right? So, and if the sun's spinning circles like you say it is, then this is the angle. That's what we're going to see. But that's not what we see.
Okay. So
we observe
what do we see?
A lot off. It rises due east.
I feel like I'm just taking your word for that one.
You're
probably right. I'm not doubting you because this is your question, so I'm sure you're right about that. But
yeah, there really isn't a choice about whether or not the sun rises due east. In fact, the sun rises due east everywhere for everyone. The same on the day of the equinox.
No doubt.
Right? That happens twice a year. It just happened. So It also happens when you're in the southern hemisphere, which makes it even more than 45 degrees off. All right, so
Okay.
this sun's doing circles doesn't really work, and to really sink it in, the sun actually traces a straight line from due east to due west when you're on the equator. That absolutely requires that the equator be a straight line east to west.
Are you sure it follows a straight line?
Yep. This is pretty well known stuff. This is yeah,
Well, hold on.
well
One second.
documented.
You're gonna say well-known stuff was Pluto's a planet. Well-known stuff, give me a second, was that the moon is not in Earth's atmosphere. But then what, 6 months ago, 12 months ago, all of a sudden it's in, and we didn't realize
It's
that Earth's
not-
atmosphere
it's not
allegedly
in
went
the
700,000
atmosphere.
miles out.
Hold on. Did you read that paper? I did. Did you read that paper?
Yeah, I believe so.
You believe you
It
read the
was
paper?
about
All
the-
right, then tell me what that paper was
The
saying.
article that was all over the internet,
What's that?
the one of multiple articles about the same subject that was all over the internet.
Yeah. Did you read a couple like news reports, or did you actually read the paper?
I don't recall. What did the paper say?
The
If,
paper
you
didn't
could
say the
refresh me.
moon was in the Earth's atmosphere. The paper said they measured hydrogen at very, very slight concentration out towards the moon. That's not in the atmosphere. That's
Well,
like
didn't
that's
the,
like
didn't the title say that the moon's in the atmosphere?
the title of what? The flat earthers
The article we're talking.
video that you
No,
watched?
the article we're talking about, that was from
Yeah.
some sort of space agency.
Well, the article that some journalist wrote, I don't know. Maybe you could find one that says that. But
I
a
thought we were
journalist,
talking about it, and you said you read those articles. But I guess
when I saw the articles, I just went to the paper and read the paper. Right?
what paper?
What
The
NASA
newspaper?
what NASA published. Right? What they said when they had done a whole bunch of research. They had used data from some old satellite things that they had looked at and analyzed and found that there was hydrogen from the Earth's atmosphere kicking around near the moon and farther out, but not the atmosphere was there. So, and I don't recall the title of the paper, but it wasn't "The moon is in the Earth's atmosphere." That is definitely what the flat earthers said, but that wasn't what it really said. So,
I think we need to look more into that, but it's arbitrary. We can talk about something else.
Sure.
We can see pictures of space there. Because I'm looking for the truth. I don't think you guys are looking for the truth, and that's mostly because of the page it came from, where there's 8,000 people compared to the reverse order. That's weird. A lot of reversal there. There's 124,000 on that group, which I don't follow, and I'm over it. The Earth is obviously level and stationary.
yeah,
There's much more to talk about.
uh,
But there's
I-
a lot of people disproving,
So
and
pe-
they're there only
people,
to
hold on, people might not know what you're talking about. If you want to give a little background to that.
content. I don't know. There's a lot to say. Can't take time to keep up for everybody.
So, all right, what he's talking about is there's a Facebook group called Official Flat Earth and Globe. No, not that one. Official Globe Earth and Flat Discussion,
And the
which
other
has
one, Flat Earth
8,000
and Globe
people versus the one that is Nathan Thompson's that has Flat and Globe swapped, which I was not I can't even find. I didn't ever join it. To the best of my knowledge, I think he like preemptively blocked me somehow. I don't. Maybe I did, but I can't even find the group. So he's talking about that group.
drama in it all at this point.
So, all right. Well, do you have so now that I've shown that the AE map, any variant of it is impossible. Do you have some evidence in favor of the flat Earth?
Oh, I can probably come up with something, but I don't necessarily think you showed it was impossible. You suggested it and reiterated it.
Oh,
Wow.
so
I don't think there was
Let's
proof that
Is
the
okay.
Earth is a spinning ball or space is real.
No, this I didn't. This wasn't addressing anything about the globe or space. This was just addressing
But that's what it's all about.
the one map. Of course, that's the overarching topic, but I was just talking about this one map, right? The one map that's on the shirt that you have there, still on the screen, proudly showing it, right? You must still think that map is accurate because you haven't thrown that shirt on the floor. So could you please, use it to somewhat
close enough. So what? I'm never going to use it for
but
navigation.
But it completely failed in the very first test that we tested it with. It can't work for the sun angle for sunrise.
I'd have to see more evidence and hear more opinions to agree with that statement.
So do you think that this 45? Do you think this 45-degree angle is wrong? Then is that?
No, I'm unsure. I'd need to be.
Okay, so I think you're not looking for the truth here because when you're looking for the truth, you follow the evidence, right?
Yeah.
And so the evidence here,
Satan,
the evidence here just said that map doesn't work. So following the evidence, we say, okay, let's take that map and we'll just set it aside because it cannot work, right?
Okay, sure. We can.
And so now you don't have a map though.
Oh, that's the statement that's been the one to fall back on because all the other statements have been destroyed. They flat earthers can't even have a working model. For one, flat earthers don't have just one opinion because there's millions, so with different people. And we're not all working together, especially not in a magnitude of world governments and trying to lie about everything. We're just discovering obvious truth.
Well, I just discovered an obvious truth.
The map's not accurate according to whatever logic.
Your map cannot work. So, if we follow the evidence, this map is now gone, right? We must conclude.
Can we pick out of the dozens to hundreds to thousands of other flat Earth maps that have came throughout the last 100 to 5,000 years of history? Because there's a lot.
Oh yeah, there are. There's quite a few.
Let's take those and let's just make an average, and let's make sure we get Admiral Byrd's opinion too, and James Cook, captain, and
so all right. Well,
captain.
Here's a map. That one doesn't work too well. You got to do like teleportation. Do you like teleportation?
No.
No. Okay. So here's another one.
All I know.
Here's another one with the sun spinning around, which can't really work. Hold on.
No doubt. There's a lot of talk about the black hole sun, if you will, and multiple suns and black suns.
Oh, hold on.
I don't know much about it.
Antonio.
And secret continents.
Do you know Antonio Subrat says one just like your shirts are kind of. But you know what he does? This one's funny. He just took the AE map and he kind of just overlaid. He overlaid it because it's the same. It has the sun circling around the North Pole, so it has the same problem. So let's see.
Picture flattening out the globe, and the globe would then be somewhat accurate too. Realistic, whatever term you want to use.
Flattening out the globe. Here's one. Have you seen this one from Daz Nez? That's an interesting map. Oh, you know what? Though you got to do teleportation with that one too. Hold on, that sucks.
Yeah, and James Cook already discovered that there's a ring at least 67,000 miles around us.
We can talk about that in a second here.
Yeah, you don't want it though.
Oh no, I certainly do.
That's an interesting map, but obviously it's
here's a good map.
At least 67,000.
Have you seen that map?
No, I don't think so.
That one got kind of wrecked last week. So
I feel like you have all these faux and bunk flat Earth maps, so you can load them, and you're like, oh, I'm a winner, because that's what the theme of this whole subject is. Because it's a big lie, It's such a lie. They're getting people like you to deter it. No offense to you, but
sure, of course. So here is this was on your page.
yeah, that could be legit.
Right. So
And
the
seasons, you know,
but really we already determined that couldn't work.
but we did not determine that. You provided evidence. It doesn't mean nothing was proven.
Nothing is proven, but you can disprove, and I did pretty much disprove.
Potentially. In that specific scenario. That's to be determined.
Yeah, so you want James Cook's map?
Sure, bust it up there.
Let's see.
I didn't look into it too deep, but Rick Potvin, about a year ago, maybe a little more, he seemed to be on a trail and looking for truth.
So let's see. Geistview, who has been to Antarctica.
Yeah, you got the. That's craziness. That guy he went across Antarctica alone. Allegedly.
No. Geistview. He's in the chat right now. This is what you're talking about. Guy named Geistview is in the chat right now, and he's been to Antarctica.
Yeah. No doubt.
So here is the chart of the southern hemisphere from Cook. So there's Cook's map, which doesn't look at all like a flat Earth map, right?
I'm not sure. When was that made?
Well, you're the one that wanted to look at his map.
Well, you asked if I wanted to.
No, I didn't bring up Cook's map. You did. But we don't have to look at his map.
I brought
That's
up
fine.
Cook and his experiences and what he said. You asked if I wanted to look at his map, if I recall.
So 60,000 miles he went, and here is.
Thought it's 67, a little more, but
yeah, there are his voyages. There are his voyages. There's 60,000 miles. So it actually the 60,000 miles started in England and ended in England. Did you look into that? Did you research flat Earth and actually look into that, or did you just hear somebody say that and then copy them without verifying it?
This doesn't seem totally verified to me.
Yeah, but did you do any verification?
I saw a lot of evidence in different forms in different places.
Okay. So what did you find when you researched Captain Cook's voyage?
That it took him 3.5, 4 years to go on the inside of a ring of ice where he could not find an inner path to turn into the ice to go around it. So he kept going in a circle, like the brim of a clock. 67,000 miles.
Yeah, but
that's the gist of what I got.
Yeah, but
it was a while ago.
But then he produced this
we gotta
map.
worry about. Yeah,
right.
I can kind of see it. I can't totally.
Yeah,
see
the
great,
contrast
but
isn't great, but so if you're gonna go off of James Cook,
I'm not. No. I don't go off any one man.
Oh, so you don't want to talk about James Cook now? All right, that's fine.
Are you saying he didn't sail 67,000 miles with ice to his side?
I say from
no, because
he didn't do 60. Please, where does it say in his journals that he did 60,000 miles with ice to his one side the entire time? Or was his entire journey from when he left England until he came back to England 60,000 miles? Maybe we should look at that. Did you have that? Because you're making that claim, so you must have it.
No. Can you disprove it?
I don't need to disprove if it's not been shown, right? So what can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. It's been dismissed.
Okay. How far is the sun under globe theory?
The sun is 93 million miles away.
No doubt. How far is the moon?
The moon is
About
280, 270,
I thought it was 238, 240.
yeah.
They're just changing it. They say about. How fast is the Earth rotating?
A
They say
15
different
degree
numbers
per
too.
hour drift. Thank you,
What's that in like?
Bob
What's
Nobedell.
that in ground speed?
15 degrees an hour. Rotation's measured in degrees.
But we're spinning the planet allegedly, right?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Oh,
how
here.
fast?
So there's Geistview is saying that his Captain Cook's actual path is on there. Oh my goodness, he was all over the place. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little difficult to see, but sorry, we're back to Cook's map because of Geistview got me distracted.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you look at this map, Geistview pasted it into the chat there. That's pretty cool. Good stuff. All right, we'll move on from that though. So.
So they say the Earth is rotating at what, 1,000 miles an hour, 1040, something like that.
Rotation is measured in degrees per unit time. So we're moving 15 degrees an hour or 0.00069 RPM. That's how fast we're rotating.
But the official people, probably NASA, probably other agencies that deal with space and rockets, they say that number, right? In miles per hour?
Never.
If
Flat
I
earthers
Google
do.
that, I can't find that.
Flat earthers do, but
Maybe
nobody.
Google flat Earth. They post a lot about, I can show you some memes of that.
Some
Flat
memes.
Earth symbolism in the Google symbol.
Some what in the what?
Flat Earth symbolism in Google emblem. You can Google that. Maybe it'll show you.
But that's not evidence of anything. So we're just going to stick to evidence. I don't care about.
Oh,
There's
so,
some symbol that somebody gives meaning to, but I don't give meaning to.
Okay, but you're saying the number isn't 1,000 miles an hour or 1,040, even though that's like the number that's used by everyone who isn't a flat earther, along with flat earthers.
No, 1,000 miles an hour is only used by flat earthers. Everybody else uses a measurement that's the normal measurement for rotation, which is 15 degrees an hour.
So can you convert that in miles per hour for me?
You need to know the latitude. What's your latitude? So what you do is you take your latitude.
Equator.
You take the linear speed.
Is it 1040 at
It is 1040. You take that and you multiply by the cosine of your latitude. So what's your latitude?
Oh, I'm unsure.
You said your main?
Yep.
Okay.
You can tell me how fast I'm spinning right now?
Sure.
I'm a little nervous.
You're nervous?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all right. So I'm in Minneapolis. I'm at 45 degrees north, and much of Maine, kind of the northern part of Maine, 45 degrees goes right across there. So let's just use 45, right?
Okay.
So that's 0.707. There you go. 735 miles an hour is our lateral speed.
75 miles an hour?
735 miles an hour.
Oh. Yep.
Okay.
Is there a certain speed that we are orbiting the sun?
Yeah. Is there a point to it, though, before we bother?
Well, I was asking you the distances to the sun and the moon. Make sure you at least know a little bit, about the stuff. Because if you didn't know the basics, then it'd totally be like, wow.
Well, dude, you don't even know the basics about your flat Earth map, so you don't need to quiz me on the basics of the globe, right?
Are you nervous about it? I'm just asking questions.
I'm not nervous.
So what is the speed around the sun? They say, I'll save you, about 67,000 miles an hour.
Actually,
they say about
being it's a rotation. Again, it's measured in angle per unit time.
Orbit and rotation is the same thing?
It's about 1 degree a day. Because it's 360 degrees all the way around, and there's 365 days in a year. So it's just a tiny bit under 1 degree a day.
Which equals out to 66,600 miles an hour?
No.
Oh, it does.
It's a range.
It's damn close.
So are you going to cherry pick the exact range because you want to make a point?
Well, I will mention that we don't feel like we're going almost 70,000 miles an hour. Then I will say,
so
yeah, they say the 360
where is your evidence
that
where's your evidence that we feel speed?
My evidence is that none of us feel any speed.
No. Where's your evidence that we should feel speed?
Because we're moving at a measurable mile an hour.
No,
which is ridiculously fast and unfathomably.
Why do you think we should feel speed?
Wow. Are you reading a script?
I am not reading a script. I'm asking you because you seem to think that humans have the ability to feel speed. So I would like you to present evidence. I would like you to present evidence that humans have the ability to feel speed.
Well, up to a point. I mean, maybe we wouldn't feel 1 mile an hour, but we're not going to feel 1,000 or 70,000. And then I was going to ask, how fast is the sun moving through the galaxy?
Here's the deal. We don't feel speed. Humans lack the ability to feel speed. We can feel acceleration, but we cannot feel speed. Did you not know that?
I understand what you're saying.
You don't understand?
No, I do.
Okay.
We wouldn't feel these different trajectories as we're being thrown in every way, rocketing through space.
Absolutely, we would not. Yeah, because they're actually, since we feel acceleration, the fastest acceleration would be the orbit of the rotation of the Earth, right? Which is 0.00069 RPM. Right? So
yeah, probably.
When you're on, say you get on a merry-go-round, right? And because it's acceleration, not linear speed that we feel, get on a merry-go-round and have that merry-go-round spin once a day. Are you going to feel the speed of that merry-go-round?
No, probably not.
No.
But that's only one trajectory.
That is acceleration. Yeah. But now, okay, fine. Now put that on some sort of a carriage and have that carriage move around in a big vertical circle, but it takes an entire year to move around once. Can you feel that?
I'm not sure.
You can't. The acceleration, because we can feel acceleration, the acceleration is minute. So you're just kind of, I think you're just parroting what you heard from some other flat earthers, and you didn't actually verify that people can feel speed. We can't feel speed.
Well, you understand that's a ridiculous statement. We can't feel speed. I understand what you're saying.
That's not a ridiculous statement.
It doesn't prove that we're going thousands of miles an hour.
You are attempting to disprove that we're moving thousands of miles an hour by saying we can't feel it. I'm not trying to prove it. I'm just saying your claim has no merit.
Well, there's no evidence for it either, and I understand what you're saying.
There's no evidence for what?
That we're moving that fast.
Are you sure?
There's evidence. There's no proof.
Let me give you another opportunity. Would you like to retract that statement before I look into that statement?
I mean, is it going to get us anywhere closer to one of us being right or wrong, or the truth, or coming
so
to a
far
consensus?
you've not actually pulled up any evidence yet. You've made some claims, and you still got a shirt there that you're showing that didn't really work out so well. So, being that we measure rotation, do you think that there is evidence of rotation?
Yeah, there's probably evidence.
Probably. Well, I mean, you know me already.
And I said evidence.
I'm about to show you some evidence.
There's evidence of Sasquatch. How do you feel about that?
Well, I've not actually seen any compelling evidence of Sasquatch, but neither have I seen any scientific studies that say, yes, we found Sasquatch. So, Now, on your Facebook page, you also had a thing which was looked to me like it was a quote from Dubé, where he talks about the Earth wobbling. Now, can you explain before we go? Explain the Earth wobbling.
That's under the globe theory.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. What?
It changes its axis. 66.6 degrees is the average of the range, they say, I believe, but that's to be argued.
Okay, but what about
Just
this
like,
wobble? You say there's a wobble.
What about it? They say there's a wobble, right?
No, actually they don't. Not what you're thinking.
Well, I think they use the word wobble.
Oh.
I don't know if it's Neil or just some sort of NASA, SpaceX article. We can try and look.
I think you're going to come up empty, because there's no wobble. But it's common. I remember clearly seeing some news reports.
No wobble?
Some news reports saying that you can balance an egg on the equinox, which of course was just a couple days ago, because the Earth's wobble is at an equilibrium, as if it did this wobble back and forth like this. The Earth doesn't wobble like that every year, right? It doesn't wobble from 23 degrees one way to 23 degrees the other way, right? It actually continues to spin. So, if you've seen these, of course, they're tipped. Right? There's a little tip to it. That's the tip of the Earth, right? The pole is up here offset. And so what happens is the sun's the Earth's over here tipped, and then it goes around the sun. It's over here tipped the other direction. It didn't actually wobble 23 degrees like this while it was going. So I think you've maybe been misinformed on that, which is common.
Well, how many months ago was that? It must have been a lot of months ago.
A lot of months ago. Hundreds of years ago?
Well, I've only been in it the last year and a half,
Okay. What do you mean months ago?
Like 5 to 8 plus?
What are you saying what are you saying was months ago?
What post Eric Dubé and Wobble? I don't know.
Oh yeah, Eric Dubé in his 200 proofs constantly talks about if the Earth is a spinning ball moving blah blah wobbling through the right. That's his stuff. He constantly is saying wobbling. It doesn't wobble like that. That's a little funny. But all right, so here you go. Deep underground rotation measurements, Gingerino ring laser gyroscope in Gran Sasso. Gran Sasso has a whole bunch of experiments. It's in Italy underneath a mountain. And here they have a large frame laser gyroscope investigating the ground motion in the most inner part of the underground internal laboratory of the Gran Sasso. This measured. The system provides Earth rotation rate measurements as well as seismic rotational data thanks to dedicated architecture for laser remote control data acquisition and data transfer. So they did measure in this experiment 15 degrees an hour rotation. And here is remember we talked about the latitude. You need to know your latitude to know what it is there. This is the formula. Did you do much math?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so
not a whole lot.
Yeah, this is a nice one. I will put this in the chat. I have this all on my webpage, mc2.net/rotation. You can see here this delta theta north-south, delta theta east-west are the tilt angles, and so a cosine of the theta of your latitude there. So there's some pretty cool stuff. It's down in this cave that they dug out, and there it is. There's the foundation, and then the bottom part is the actual ring laser gyroscope there, which is similar to what Bob Nodell measured 15 degrees an hour, and what every airplane measures when they turn on their inertial reference unit. Now, you might think
How heavy are airplanes?
What's that?
How heavy are airplanes, like commercial airplanes?
Oh, at least 10 pounds. Doesn't really matter. They just have three ring laser gyroscopes in different planes in one inertial reference unit, and they typically have 2 or 3 of those depending on the size of the plane for backups. So if one of them disagrees with the other 2, it's declared to be wrong and it's ignored, right? So they turn on the plane, and then it measures the rotation of the Earth using those 3 ring laser gyroscopes. And then it measures the actual inclination of the plane of rotation and the direction, and that allows it to accurately identify its latitude as well as whether it's north or south of the equator. Did you know that planes do that? They have to turn it on and leave it for about 6 minutes before they do that.
Yeah, I knew that. Because I decided if I was going to prepare at all, I'd see what this guy's all about. And I watched, a random 20 minutes, 25 minutes of one of your videos against that guy that brought up the 40 or 44 military documents.
Oh, yeah. Nathan Roberts.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of that. And I saw this part about the gyroscopes there, the 3 on the plane.
So did you?
So I did. I learned.
Did
today.
you prepare something, or are you like, well, that's okay, I guess we did. There is rotation.
Yeah, no. I didn't prepare anything.
Okay, so if you're seeking truth and looking to where the evidence goes instead of picking evidence that matches your outcome.
Do you think they let anybody fly those planes?
What's that?
They don't just let anybody fly the planes. Commercial planes, SR-71 Blackbirds, whatever have you. So if you can get 1, let alone 5 to 10 to 100 pilots that fly those things, if they say the Earth is flat, or yeah, you should look, maybe the Earth is flat, then that's a lot of evidence in itself.
We were talking about ring laser gyroscopes.
Yeah, no, but this is come on.
You're changing the topic here. You got a little uncomfortable again.
I got bored, and this is like a boring show, and you're doing the same topics each show, so you're using the same loaded questions and saying, oh, how can we try and trick and get back to the deception?
The problem is you say that, but you haven't brought anything to refute anything that I've said.
No, I wanted to see what it's all about. Maybe get a little clout, start my own podcast someday. I know so many people. I'm sitting with a couple great people right here. I'm an arborist. I'm a heavy equipment operator. I know house appraisers. Pretty much anything you need done, I know a person. Quality work.
Okay.
A1 property maintenance.
All right.
Lincoln, Maine.
I don't mind if you want to do an advertisement. That's fine.
This is my first time live.
No, yeah, and that's fine. I'm not here to use that against you. Right?
The real thing is, you guys are, I ain't saying you're bad guys, but that you're on the wrong side of it, and you've looked enough.
I've looked enough that there is nothing that I've found that is evidence at all for flat Earth.
The evidence is chonky.
Yeah, but you haven't. I've asked you to present something, and you haven't presented any positive evidence.
Okay, please.
So you've said there is no rotation, and I've shown you now. This is the second thing where they've measured rotation, right? Now maybe you just like it rotates and you just can't argue it, and maybe we need.
Gladiatorialist effects only affect bullets. Do you have a real and a simple and layman's term talk for that?
So all right. You've said that you have lots of evidence for the flat Earth.
Okay.
And so all you've done so far is.
Let me go. Don't say the same sentence. You just said it.
Okay.
You just said it. Please. water always seeks its level. Do you understand level?
Of course, yes.
Okay, all level and all the words level pertain to completely flat or horizontal.
Continue.
The Earth is over 70% water. Sea level is the same at every area in the Earth. Every continent you're at, sea level is on the same plane and the same height.
So, all right, well, these are claims. You're going to have to back up these claims.
I don't know. Let's both go 2,000 meters up in something, get real strong lasers, look at each other, because we'll figure it out. We'll do it. We'll get on the same plane. We'll be at 2,000 meters, and we'll just start doing circles with the lasers, and eventually we'll hit each other, but you'll be like 10,000 miles away. But the lasers got to be strong enough.
So,
but I got a couple $100. I'll throw down.
But, so you don't have evidence.
Sea level. You know what?
Well, saying the word over and over again doesn't make it evidence.
Do you understand level? Yes, you do. Level is like
perpendicular to the pull of gravity.
North is that way. South is that way. Where I'm at.
Okay, but I'm still waiting for the
that way.
Dude, you said you had lots of evidence.
And go that way.
I'm waiting for the evidence.
Get a compass. I'll get one too. Start walking. Meet you there.
I don't know what that's going to do. What is a compass? So all right, so you say there's lots of evidence. I say direct send it, and you like get a compass and walk.
Yeah.
That's it, dude.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Let me give you some advice. Don't start your own. Don't start your own podcast, because this ain't working out well for you. You don't have any evidence yet, man.
Can we look at like real things from official people that aren't you, like
sure.
NASA pictures?
NASA pictures.
Instagram. Go to their Instagram because it's NASA, right? They're legit. We can agree on that, or can we?
You want NASA's Instagram?
Sure. Actually, you could Google #NASA lies. I think that pretty quickly tags you along to.
Now the problem is, I'm on desktop. Instagram isn't very good for desktop.
No doubt. I don't know. I don't use it much.
Well, if you want to go to the pictures from NASA, is that? I mean, we can look at pictures from NASA.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, hold on. So, they during the missions to Mars, they used an analog Hasselblad camera, right?
Sure.
And all of those images that they took, you can go look at yourself.
Okay.
So let me and so people have gone and they've actually digitized 15,000 pictures that NASA published. So here we have.
Take a peek.
Yeah, here we have a couple images. It's kind of right in the middle of the set here. So here's some nice ones that I like.
I'd like to see those put in a Photoshop program and then the contrast messed with. Because
Sure.
you've seen that, you know. You know, the pictures of space that are official, and you put them in that, and you change the contrast, and then there's like a clear box.
Yeah, all right.
That happens. I ain't saying every picture's like that, but, you know, if one is, and it's from NASA, and it's a picture of space,
All right.
that alone doesn't prove it's fake, but
All right.
it helps.
So here is. I can do that. I have Photoshop. If you want, we can use Photo Forensics or Photoshop. I'll do both, actually.
Yeah, but to like convince me, you'd have to do like every picture, I guess. Because who knows? You could have done this 40 times. I mean, I'm sure you're inviting people on a podcast. You're from that group. I knew you guys were going to be set up, but it doesn't change what I know. And figured, let's see what you have to say.
So, actually, it's a little bit different. You would have to actually show that every.
I don't want to do. No, check it. I've already seen that multiple are like that. But if you're just going to do this one and it doesn't show a box around it, or, I don't know. This could be a trick you've done a million times. I'm just speculating, I guess.
So there you go. So what you need to do is, because the burden of proof is on you making the claim that they're fake, you would need to find that all 15,000 of them are faked. So.
Are you going to do this one in Photoshop, you said?
So here, this is photo forensics.
Okay.
So.
I don't know a whole lot about it.
Yeah, this is. So there you go. There's the. No boxes around it there. Right.
What'd you change?
So this is part of their error level analysis. So photo forensics is something, just a utility that you can use online.
Yeah.
And you can find fakeries on that. So there it is. So I will pull up Photoshop and we can mess with contrast. So do you know the difference between a raw image and a JPEG image?
No, not enough to explain it. Why? What is it?
If you're gonna, you're making claims here, and
image and one taken with a camera.
What's that?
An unaltered photo versus a altered photo.
No, not JPEG is a compression algorithm. So when you see artifacts, it's a result of JPEG compression. All right, let me switch to my Photoshop screen here. And I'll present that to you too.
So what took that picture?
That was taken by a Hasselblad camera, an analog camera, and you can go yourself to look at the actual
From Mars?
The original images.
That picture was taken from Mars, though, you said?
No, it was taken from. This is from NASA. You wanted to look at NASA, right? So this is from NASA
satellite
during Apollo. I think this is Apollo 17, but I could be wrong on the exact Apollo one. All right, so there you go. Everybody can see it now, right? Do you see? You see it there in my Photoshop screen? Oh, okay. Cosmonaut 6. I said Mars instead of Moon initially. Yeah, sorry, I did not mean Mars.
Moon?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Contrast. So there we can mess with contrast. It gets all the way black. Gets rid of the noise. And go all the way the other way. You see more noise. Turn the brightness up, brightness down, contrast up. Right, all these, they don't show any of the things that.
Yeah, no, that one doesn't.
So I'll send you, I'll put in the chat the link. And so now you can look at the other 15,000 images and test them to see which ones. No.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so you'll accept them as legit.
Well, I mean, we can look at them. Why don't we continue to look to them.
Should we go through all 15,000 of them right now?
I mean, you showed me one, which you might have shown them every other 15 times.
And I can only say that I just picked it randomly out of the group there.
Okay.
But you're free to go look at them and find any errors with them. Here's the problem. Flat earthers always say that's an obvious fake without any evidence. So again, what can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence.
What's the evidence it's real?
You're looking at it. So yeah, the burden of proof is on you if you're saying that's fake. Okay? Because you've made that claim now.
You ever seen pictures of the Earth from space throughout the years and how they've changed very much?
Yeah, no, all right, so let's do this. I'm still waiting for you to present positive evidence that the Earth is flat.
Water always seeks its level. Everyone that deals with space and globe theory are proven liars or hacks/puppets.
All right, that's a claim that you have not supported.
More into that. I've looked. I've told. I'm all set. I'll look through my memes, though. I got, a couple dozen thousand probably on the phone. See if I can't find a good random one that's recent. Then we can talk about it. Maybe it's just a meme. It's fake. Water doesn't stick to the exterior of any other, any shapes. Ever, really.
Oh.
Right?
No, wrong.
Oh. Can we, besides globe theory, is there, or is that the one exception that makes it wrong?
Well, let's do this one. So I need to change what I'm presenting to you. Not working. Well, here we have water sticking to a ball.
Alright, give me one sec.
Oh, hold on, I need to change it.
I'm looking. Is it in bulk or is it going to be water driplet? I'm about to look. Because, Is that water running down a ball?
No, it's actually sticking to it.
How so?
There we go. It is sticking to that ball. So.
It looks polished in this picture.
What's that?
It looks shiny.
Yes.
It looks shiny. It looks like it could be polished. I can't tell that there's any water on it, honestly.
So you're using the power of incredulity there.
I mean, I got 2015 vision as of last year.
So.
You're saying there's water sticking to that thing there.
Yeah, hold on a second. I will play the video.
You're telling me that ball's covered in water and it's all still?
Yep, just a second here. It's not. It's actually a spinning ball.
Really?
It is.
What's inside?
Let's see.
Is there like a high salt content to the water or something?
Why would salt content?
I don't know. I'm just wondering what this is. Can hardly even see it, let alone tell what it actually is.
I'm trying to get VLC. It's not happy here. Darn. Yeah, why would you think salt makes a difference?
I don't know. Well, electromagnetic. So who knows what they're doing?
Do you think
Right?
salt water is magnetic?
I'm unsure.
So, like, if I take salt water and I get a magnet and I put it next to the water, it'll, like, jump to the magnet?
You could test it.
Yeah, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that.
I believe it.
Brainy Beaver did a very nice video where he put a magnet in salt water. Because Russian vids thought that too, and it doesn't. So I'm having trouble with the VLC here.
I wish I had a VLC.
You know what
Got
VLC is.
PhD. No. Yeah, what do you think about rocket launches? Just between us.
Oh, all right.
They're heavy.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to get that video of it, but it is spinning. They have these things all over the place. They're usually granite or marble, and
they just dump water on it.
yeah, there's water on the bottom. It's actually sitting on a little bed of water. So, all right. Well, so you were gonna do proof. You wanted NASA images. We looked at one image from NASA that wasn't obviously faked.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Can we take like 30 seconds to look at 10 more? I mean, it doesn't really matter. This ain't, obviously
they're
going
all.
too far.
I can tell you that they're all.
I knew I wasn't going to.
They're all the same, right? You can do it. They're really cool.
No, I'm not trying to test. No, we don't have to test it. Let's just take a gander.
So.
Rocket launch. We'll peek. We'll just glance, click. A couple seconds. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Apollo 11, though. That I did the math after the numbers they gave me, and they burnt 4.8 million pounds of rocket fuel in the first 2 minutes. That's crazy.
Okay. Crazy. Yes.
That much.
So yeah,
I'm surprised they listed it.
Is incredulity what you're going to use to try to disprove that?
Well, I mean, it's like when you look into the jet fuel hoax. Obviously, they don't have 200 to 350 tons of fuel in their wings.
Obviously,
you know how much?
Obviously, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, obviously.
Have you ever seen a 5,000-gallon oil truck?
Obviously.
You know what those look like?
So you don't have
5,000
evidence. You just have obviously.
Well, I see how big the wing is, and I know how big one truck is, and when it takes 40 trucks to make the weight that they say that they get for gas mileage, then yeah, something's very out of place.
Here we go. We got.
All
right. Well,
them lifting
being that's off topic.
Let alone burning it. In 2 minutes, the first 2 minutes, how fast did they get going?
Hold on a second. Here is water on a spinning ball.
Okay. Is there a spigot on top?
There is not a spigot on top. You can actually see. Let's see here. There, you can see on top. There's nothing on top. I'll back it up a little there. It looks like it's in a mall.
Rolls in water, and it stays wet.
Yep, there it is.
And it carries some water, too, with it as it spins?
Yep. Have you never seen these? They're all over the place. They're pretty cool.
No, they're cool.
There it is.
But.
So, water on a spinning ball.
That's wild. Is there any other? So we got that. We got globe theory. I don't know. Show me I don't know. Nah, screw it.
So you still don't have any evidence, right?
I didn't bring any.
Yeah, I know, but you said that you have lots of evidence. So
there's lots of evidence out there. I got thousands and thousands and thousands of memes that I've shared and verified.
I've seen your memes. Here's one I like a lot. The Michelson Morley Aries
I'm
failure.
sure you can find a bunk one. I mean, shoot, what is it? 14,000 I've shared in the last friggin' year.
Yeah, there you posted a
Yeah.
lot. I got some of the interesting ones here.
You got something you cherry picked.
Of course, yeah, the
Because,
ones that were
you know-
interesting to me. That if we need to,
Yeah.
we would, we could look at. This one I was confused.
Well, if you wanted to find the truth, we'd go through them.
Sure. So
But I'm all set.
If
but
gravity-
not the ones you cherry picked.
if
We'll
gravity
just click
doesn't-
on a Dunham meme stash, hashtag DSMS, and then we'd look through all these memes, and then we could discuss them one by one.
Yeah.
And you could pick me apart on many of them, I'm sure, but you don't want to run into the ones that.
well, if you have one that you like, let me know.
I'm really over it. It's good. Flat Earth is can be such a stumbling block for the world, but it's about the greatest avenue, because it leads to so much more.
The problem is,
You just gotta get it. once
you
you
still come
realize
up
it,
with nothing.
It's cool.
So memes are your evidence, which I'd say it's an interesting
as
change
of the
from
last
from
2
people
minutes
having
of
YouTube
conversation,
videos
memes
as
are
evidence, right?
Yeah, right. Because you can verify it yourself, and people are out here compiling evidence themselves, and they're not dirty, corrupted organizations. Yeah, some of them may be wrong, but it's there for you to self-verify and think upon yourself.
I do
Which I-
appreciate that, and that's what I've done.
No. It's cool, but I know
What do you know?
your purpose.
My purpose. I do this for fun, and I make a little money doing it from the views and super chats, but for the most
I
part,
read a comment that said you made money. I knew you made money.
oh, yeah,
You
of course
said a
I,
little bit, I'm sure.
yeah, I don't
And that's
make
cool.
nearly
No,
as
I-
much. You know who really
No.
makes the money is like Eric Dubay,
The people.
Mark Sargent,
Oh, Mark
Jaron.
Sargent, yeah, he's controlled opposition, and I'm sure pretty much everyone is besides Eric Dubay and Nathan Thompson.
They're all
And I haven't kept up with either of them in a long time.
controlled. Yeah, but
Yeah, Mark Sargent, obviously. We check mark, so don't put
Obviously.
those bad opinions in flat earthers' mouths, because I know how the debate, and I ain't upset, but I knew this was going to be how it is.
so all right. So we've got obviously as evidence.
Just as long as we keep it good and exciting, don't bore me with the friggin' gyroscopes that you use in, multiple podcasts or whatever.
What do you
Keep
mean?
her going. What are we getting at? Keep going. Excuse me.
I don't know what you're talking
We know
about.
it's flat. We both know it's flat. And stationary.
But I already showed you that it's not stationary. Did you
Huh?
did you like give up on seeking evidence and letting the evidence?
I figured it out for myself. I've figured. Yeah, no, you haven't proven anything. You've suggested evidence and done your thing.
Well, all right? So what has science proven?
I don't know. Science changes and evolves over time. Clearly, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah,
So
we
it-
improve
it's
our techniques, but you
Science
said
is
I
never
haven't
definite.
proven anything. So I'm asking, what has science proven? Because you seem to think that science can prove things. So what has science proven?
Water's wet, and it always seeks its level.
The
The
water.
sky's blue, grass is green.
Yeah, that's not things that
Lots of
science has proven, really. Not like you're
So
saying
they
you
don't
didn't prove this to
anything?
me, right?
So they don't prove any. So nothing science
science actually
says is real.
doesn't prove things. And somebody saying that science proves things is tells us that you don't actually know what science does.
Well, science in the modern term is a bunch of propaganda.
Of course it is.
That's what science is.
Yeah.
Majority.
So okay, so
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I'm
Who you
still
believe
all
in?
right.
What
How about
theoretical physicist?
is there a meme that you think is particularly good? Because I can look at the
I
ones.
sent you one. There's thousands, literally beyond
No.
thousands. I sent you one in your
What?
messenger.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
all right.
official photos, Earth from space. A bunch of different ones throughout years,
All right.
and it's just something to look at. I don't
Yes.
care. Maybe it don't prove nothing.
Let's see if this is gonna work for me without being. No. All right. Save image. Some people in chat are saying your friends should come on too.
Oh yeah, you guys like them.
We, we won't like them. Are they?
No,
Are they
you
cranky?
will. No, you will like them.
Oh. All right.
Are you in? Yeah, I'm in. All right, we're in now. Let's get it.
All right. So here I have.
If you want a lot. All right.
Here I have the what you sent me here.
What proof? Yeah. There it is. What proof do you have that the Earth isn't flat?
Well, these pictures are fantastic, actually. Thank you for bringing them up.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I know your issue is that they're different color, and different things are different sizes, and this is actually all expected because of different focal lengths.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, sure, I can get on board with that. What about the pictures from the International Space Station where like Florida or a hurricane takes up most of the screen, but the curve is right there, and then it'd be like Florida or the hurricane is, 30% of the Earth.
Yeah.
If that curve was.
Yeah, because they're
what about
near, right? So these images were taken. I don't know which ones are which because it's kind of a mishmash of images, and so some of them, like this bottom one here on the bottom row, they look like they may have been constructed rather than an actual just an image, a photograph, right?
Yep.
So it without any citations or references, this is a little bit difficult. So I'm happy to go look at any particular ones. Like the one we already looked at.
I knew this wasn't going to be a winning argument. I'm saying, yeah, there's some photos.
So when the ISS is much closer to the Earth than where these pictures would have to be, right? So when you're close to something,
how far is the ISS?
It's about 400 kilometers.
No doubt, 250-ish miles.
Sure.
No doubt.
Oh,
how far are satellites?
I'm not.
Then.
How far are satellites?
Yeah, if they're taking pictures, right, and then the ISS is taking pictures.
So the satellites that are taking pictures of the Earth, there's a couple different ones. There's the Discover satellite, which is at the Lagrange point, which is very far away, and you've got way farther than the ISS or the other like geostationary satellites. Then you've got the Himawari 8, which is in geostationary orbit above the equator, looking down on Japan because that's where they want to look at it. So that's I don't remember the exact height, but geostationary is very high as well compared to the ISS. So that's far enough to take a good picture. Austringer News 1 says the Discover Epic camera just died. Oh, no. I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm sorry, I was just asking, do you think those pictures are real?
I think some of these are real, absolutely, yeah.
I think some of them are real.
Yes. So like the one that says 1975, I don't know about that one because I don't know what was in 1975. We didn't have, there was no Apollo missions in 1975.
They're in September, I think it was 94. If you Google September 94, it was GOES weather satellite. I think there's a picture of the Earth. Allegedly, I think that's what they're getting at, but it looks weird. I don't know if they tried to fool people in 1994 that's what the Earth looks like, or what?
Well, here's these. These are nice. So I'll put this up. There you go. This is GOES 8.
From 1994?
This is
That must be a current
8.
one. Pretty close. Yeah, I can't remember what number it was.
Yeah. So what about it?
The one from September 94. If you type that in as well. And I think it was GOES 8. Maybe not 8, but you type that in.
GOES.
Yeah, September. Pretty sure 94.
Yeah, they were up there for quite a while. So so let's see, we got first generation 1980, 81, 83. So GOES 6 was up there, it looks like, in 1994.
And actually, at the bottom of this image, you can see the image date, 9 May 94, and it even gives you the time code in UTC.
There you go, yeah. I'll zoom in there. GOES 8, visible image, 9 May 94.
Weird. No, that's not the one I was thinking of, but... That's a picture of the Earth, they say.
Absolutely. That's
In
nice.
94.
I like that. You know what's cool about these GOES satellites was they did not encrypt the data at all, and so a lot of amateurs would get made their own dishes and captured the data. So, still waiting on some evidence.
Oh, jeez. Let me think. No, we should talk about the lies, I guess. If we look at those, then
Yeah, because you said that you only thought some of those pictures were real, right?
we should talk about NASA
So what
lies.
about the ones you didn't think were real?
So,
And why don't you think they're
why
real?
would I think that those are not real? So certainly some of them can be just imagery
I
that
am
people
curious
made.
to know if you could decipher.
What's that?
Because if you could decipher, I mean, because that'd be the difference. Anyone could say some of them are real or whatever. Be like, oh, well, that one, no. This one, oh, yeah. Or that one, yeah, definitely not that one. I can do that with some stuff. Certainly not pictures of the Earth like that.
Sure.
I just assume they're all real and fake. But I would be interested if you picked them out. But I'd rather talk about NASA and their lies and their budget. But let's talk about their lies.
So before you move on to that, I'm asking for
Okay.
positive evidence that the Earth is flat. So you could
What about
identify
what about the
lies all
you
day
look at-
long, and nothing about a lie makes it flat. So could you find some evidence that it's
I
flat?
cannot cite any military documents right at the moment, but that guy clearly thought he had at least 40, and I know I've seen plenty of evidence in plenty of different ways.
So
that,
I looked at every one of those 44 documents that he posted.
and all of them were BS, or didn't.
The
suggest
majority
what
of
he was saying.
them are aircraft flight modeling that does things like assuming that an airplane is a point mass, not a wide thing that has mass everywhere, assuming that they are perfectly rigid, assuming that there is no wind, assuming that airplanes are constant in mass, assuming that airplanes are perfectly symmetrical. In addition to not assuming that the Earth is flat and assuming that it's not rotating. All of those things are done in engineering to simplify modeling. pretty common things. I am an engineer, and that is something that we do all the time so that we can simplify what we do. So the majority of those, now not every one of them, some of them were kind of funny. There was one that they claimed was some super secret Russian thing that they exfiltrated. It was actually just Russian doctorate theses, and it was the itinerary. It's item number 1. It's the itinerary with a overview of the theses, which also included a good discussion on gravity. And then that's another point. Most of these, when they're talking about modeling aircraft flight, they talk about gravity because it's a critical part of it.
In the way they explain it.
Yes, of course. Do you have a different way of explaining the 9.81 meters per second squared downward acceleration that we measure everywhere?
Isn't that the same, atmospheric pressure? Isn't that the measure of atmospheric pressure as well?
It is not. In fact,
No, it's not.
That acceleration is measured in high pressure and in low pressure environments.
So it's probably close, but you can call it apples to oranges? Is that what
It
you're
is
saying?
not even remotely close at all, because acceleration is not pressure.
Oh, okay. I see where you're getting at now.
Do you know what the SI unit of pressure is?
Oh, not that I can recall.
Okay. So they're not even close.
You?
Yeah,
Do
they're
you?
pascals. Yes.
Okay.
It's not the same. Yeah, pressure and acceleration are not the same. Do you know what an SI unit is?
I've heard. I don't have to use it in my everyday life. So
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So good. So you don't really have an explanation for gravity?
You know who you sound like? Have you ever seen the movie Office Space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sound like the boss.
Yeah.
You do.
No.
You sound like the
Yeah.
boss from. What's his name?
That'd be great.
And that has exactly what to do with the topic at hand?
Well,
Oh no, I respect. That's a great movie.
No,
It is a great
just,
movie, and you're a great
we're just
character
teasing,
from it. You should
but-
be happy, man.
but I do know you guys are lying.
What are we lying about?
Well, we'll call it deceiving.
But you're also believing in
I
something
can read.
too.
That's red flag.
And, like
to me.
that's something you
That's
can't
easy.
handle thinking about, is that you are you do believe in what you.
Can I
your
ask
thoughts,
you?
you think, oh, they're facts, and you got all these reasons why, and oh, well, they did this and this to explain it, but and then you say that you don't believe that some of these pictures of the Earth, and I don't know, there just seems to be some type of gray area.
It's worse. You're not ignorant. You know.
There's not enough
I know you
evidence
know.
on your side too that makes me believe what you're thinking, or with his. I'm partial. I'm very neutral. I don't believe anything. Just fucking tell me.
It is weird though. The only reason you guys can win this is because since mass hypnosis and indoctrination and whatever have you, the burden of proof, quote unquote, is on us because people are tricked and indoctrinated.
All right, so hold on. When you say tricked and indoctrinated, that suggests that something's. Hold on, just rather than saying indoctrinated, point out what's wrong, right? Because indoctrination suggests that something's been taught that's wrong. So just point out what's wrong.
Isn't the highest verified flight 143-ish thousand feet by a MiG fighter jet?
I'm not familiar with that, but what?
I heard that, and I read a meme once. We'll call it a year or more back. Some admiral or general said that no plane has ever breached 150,000.
Okay.
That's hearsay.
Okay.
Can you prove any of that? Because rocket launches. I mean, I know you're going to try to sway it, and it's your show, and you're here to keep it up and propagate the Satan's agenda. But we look at a rocket launch, and you're trying to convince me, like, oh look, yeah, they even have the numbers and the velocity and the height, and but it's zoomed right in on the rocket, and there's no context to it. But when you watch a rocket launch, a big one doesn't get going. It doesn't accelerate very quickly.
Have you been to a rocket launch?
Oh, I've seen a lot of videos.
No, okay.
And I've probably launched small rockets, yeah.
So I know Maine is far from Florida. A few years ago,
1,500 miles.
A few years ago, I was in Virginia, and we drove from Virginia, picked up my cousin and kids, and they went with us all the way down to Florida, and we watched the third to last shuttle launch. And so we were there and we saw it, and you can feel the heat on your face. It's just amazing. That far away, feeling the heat and like the sound. Yeah, it's just amazing. I'd recommend going down if you can do it. If you want to get to Florida, like, you know, in the winter when it's a little nicer, because Maine gets cold, I'm sure too, right?
Certainly it does.
So go down there and watch a launch.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. But what I'm saying is that's most likely entirely theatrics.
How is it
the budget to just
theatrics?
tuck it away.
How?
Because where do they go? And how they got to get going? How fast to get to outer orbit? You must know that.
Actually, it depends on the orbit and the mass of the rocket. Well, the mass of the payload. There are a lot of factors that go into that. There's not a cookie cutter answer for achieving a particular
it's 17,000 miles an hour
for the ISS. For the ISS.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it says for a vehicle to reach outer orbit. And then there's like 4 other velocities, and I think the highest.
Are you looking at low Earth orbit? Are you looking at a transfer orbit? Are you looking at an extrasolar orbit? There are different levels to it.
Yeah, no, low Earth orbit. Is that where the ISS is as well? Low Earth orbit?
Yes, the ISS is at low Earth orbit, but not everything.
Yeah, you need to get 17,000 miles an hour to get there. You ever seen a hunk of metal move?
No, to maintain that. You don't
no,
have
once
to
you're there, you do maintain that, but to get there, you do need to reach that.
The ISS does not maintain that velocity. Every time they have a cargo resupply, they actually use the engines of it to boost it back, because it actually is having a very minuscule amount of drag that does over time slow it down and does decay the orbit.
But it's still going about that fast, and that's arbitrary anyway, because under the theory, yes, once it goes out there, then it would have to go at a slower speed. That doesn't matter. It's fake anyway. We're talking about reaching 17,000 miles an hour.
Wait, that was a lovely claim you just made. Do you have something to substantiate it?
I wish you would have just responded.
How about you support your claims?
We're back to incredulity.
Yes, of course. Show me a rocket. Show me a rocket launch going fast. And how much do they weigh? And what do bullets travel at? Let's just talk about those things.
So you want to compare powered flight to ballistics?
Well, I understand. Let's talk about that one's constantly propelled. Let's avoid that conversation.
Powered flight to ballistics.
I'm talking about the speed. I'm talking about making a hunk of metal move that fast, is what I'm talking about.
Photographic evidence is too manipulated.
And math and pseudoscience is obviously is manipulated.
It's not good.
Do you not like math because it's hard?
It's hard, yeah, of course. You're losing miserably to anyone with an open mind, but I'm sure you got your 10 Facebook fake accounts following you on that 8,000 person friggin' page.
Wait.
It's a good job. Oh, you slaughtered them.
Anthony,
and it's whatever. I don't want to be mean, but
Anthony,
you know.
Where did the?
I won a competition for throwing a bullseye with an axe.
Hold on. Anthony, where did the bad math touch you?
Yes, right. I mean, and I get it, but there's so much more to humor and so much more to good satire, and like we've wasted so much time already. Let's keep it up with real good. You're good though. That's good too.
Yeah, I'm gonna need
I'll
you
drink
to come
to that.
in. I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday.
He might get
know
spicy.
what?
I ain't gonna get spicy.
You know what? Why don't you come on in on Sunday, dude?
Dude, what's your name, dude? I like you.
I'm Brandon Wardwell.
Brandon, hey.
At Brandon Wardwell.
I was in a couple movies. I used to do acting.
He's an actor.
I am an actor.
All right, Anthony, I have a question for you. If you have a triangle with sides 1, 1, and 1, what are the internal angles? Did you catch that?
Come again?
If you have a triangle with sides 1, 1, and 1, what are the internal angles?
Say 60.
Hey.
How'd I do?
All right.
Hey, we have a winner. Someone who's not completely ignorant about how triangles are.
Brandon?
Yeah. I got one real quick loaded. Triangulation. It happens, right?
All right. Yeah. I don't know if you want to bring this up. It doesn't work well.
Triangulation happens. How can you triangulate anything without 3 flat sides? Because you can say, oh, it's so gradual that... But if it's so gradual, why do engineers, quote unquote, and people who put railroads in, why do they have, and bridges, they have to account to it, which they don't, you know.
Well, hang on. Railroads, they don't have to account for curvature because they're accounting for something else. Do you know what that is?
Level ground that they level.
No.
I can do that for a fucking great price.
Terrain.
Quality.
Terrain.
Right.
Train tracks are on the surface of the Earth. You don't have to worry about curvature if your apparatus is staying on the surface of the Earth. Now, as for the claim about curvature not being calculated for bridges, I would like you to look up the Verrazano Narrow Bridge in New York City. There's a rather interesting piece of information about it. Would you like to know what this piece of information is?
Which borough of New York City is that bridge in?
It's going between boroughs. It's the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. It's the only one of that name.
There's 5 boroughs in New York, so...
Verrazano Narrows Bridge. 3 words will get you right to the location.
Okay, bud. Okay. I'm on it. Right after... Hold on. After I take this selfie real quick, okay? Is that okay?
You got a what?
Okay, no, I'm here to play, though. I'm here to play. Pay to play. Get it on. Yeah, how much am I getting paid for this? Because it should be at least $15. Come on.
Brandon, can you spot him $15, dude?
I mean, and I'm hoping I can get another chance. And
who's the other guest there? Maybe she's got 5 and Brandon can do 10.
Yeah, no, I can't say her name. She can, though.
All right, so far it's been kind of a letdown, I gotta say. You haven't brought any evidence yet, man.
No, I didn't bring any. I got a 2-door car.
Either, man. You can't prove shit, dude. Like you
can't even put a baby in my car. You know, I can't bring evidence.
You really can't. I don't think anyone can.
Why not?
Because it ain't real.
It's just there's too many.
No. Even for your own position, why can you not bring evidence?
I don't believe NASA and their bullshit. I don't believe all that.
Okay, I can lie to you. Hang on. I can lie to you about the particular models that are offered by the Ford Motor Company. Does that mean cars are fake?
No, I know. I see cars, dude.
We see the Earth, so
you see the Earth not from outside of it. Like you can step outside of a car. You know,
I don't know. We've been staring at a pretty good one, and actually, we can go to another site that actually updates every 10 minutes with a live image.
You got to rely on other people, other sources to get that. You know what I mean?
Not in its entirety. You can do plenty of stuff on your own too.
You can't personally get a picture of that. You could personally get a picture of your car.
Oh, so you're going to go with the genetic fallacy now?
I'm just saying your analogy. I'm going with what you said. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying it's not as simple as you.
So you're switching it from they're lying to I can't do it. Is that what I'm understanding?
What do you mean I can't do it? What do you mean I can't do it? Well,
okay. The initial bit was NASA lies. The initial bit was NASA lies. Yeah, so I gave you an example where you can lie about something, but it's still not negate the truth. So where is this truth about the Earth is flat?
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I know the truth, though. That's not me. I'm not that guy.
So
but I'm gonna say I know more what I don't believe in, more than what I do believe in. You know
okay,
what I mean?
So do you have an issue with composite imagery?
An issue? It depends on what.
Do you accept composites as an appropriate form of imagery?
Composite? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Come on.
So a composite would be like when you go to a football game or something and you take your phone, right? And you do the panorama thing, right? That takes a bunch of pictures and it stitches them together.
Okay.
All right, that's a composite. So if you took that composite and then sent it to somebody, and or if somebody sent you a composite, would you look at that and say, no, you weren't actually there? Or would you say, oh, that's pretty cool?
You said someone. I don't know who that someone is. They could send me fucking anything, dude.
So you're telling me this is the only topic he's doing?
Yeah, we haven't even talked about it.
This is the only topic?
Yeah, what about vaccines? Ooh, shouldn't have said that. And we'll say, I don't know, we'll say North Korea. Pearl Harbor. I gotta grab, about to die. You know, there's dozens and hundreds of...
Yeah, so our topic tonight is Flat Earth, so...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And I'm down, but I've just already, like, settled it with myself.
Flat Earth?
I've still talked about, but I ain't gonna talk to, like, people that are trying to not...
It would take me going into a spaceship and going out
I did want to talk.
and looking at it myself. I think that's the only thing that would convince me.
All right.
I'm not going to be math or any of that.
Hey, I appreciate having an actual like stance that you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
Oh, there's a tweet on a piece of paper.
Like, you find out Santa Claus isn't real, right? And then you find out after your next one.
Dude, hold on a second.
We're talking about the
What did you just say?
Who told you that? That's not what my mom said.
Oh.
No,
it all makes sense.
And then it's like...
My parents, the Christmas tree. He's different every year at the mall. Damn it.
You got a little fresh with me one year, but I had to give him a little slap. Excuse me.
Well, then your next question is the Easter Bunny. You're like... And they're like, oh yeah, no, that's definitely fake too. And you're like, oh wow, okay.
So
and then you're like, all right, then God. And then you're like, wait, what about God? And they're like, oh yeah, no, God's still real. What do you have to say?
All right, so here's the thing.
Okay.
Brandon.
Yeah.
You didn't actually bring any evidence with you.
Didn't bring what?
Any evidence.
Well, he wasn't the one that was in the debate. It was you.
Oh, no. I mean, I already, there's just not a lot to be settled, and I knew it was going to be like this, but it's still good for views. It's somewhat fun at points, you know?
What are you going to say, Bob?
And people will see and be like, oh, I see.
So I know you said that you need to go on a spaceship, and, you know, that is nearing...
That's not nice. I don't agree, because people told me the same thing. I was like, come on, bro.
I would go on a spaceship. I'd go.
You probably would.
So, all right. So Brandon would go. Anthony, you'd not go. But what if Brandon went and came back and said, dude, it's a big old ball?
What if I had wheels? I'd be a wagon.
Don't avoid the question. What if Brandon, who's your friend, who's good enough friend to be here tonight with you, came back from that flight and said, Anthony, it's round. I saw it with my own eyes. What would you say to him?
What?
Yeah, he knows I'm trustworthy. I'm his good friend, so...
I'd be like, are you sure? And then I'd say, did you check the windows?
This is a hypothetical
Right, obviously
question,
this does
you know
not...
what I mean? Like...
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
What?
And then I'd see if he could convince me that he's not lying to me and he actually saw what he saw and there wasn't any concaved or vexed windows or anything to confuse him.
Yeah, so take a picture out the window before you take off to make sure that everything that's
a video would be better. A video would be better.
Do you know anyone personally, and be honest, don't bullshit me, personally who went to space and saw shit? Personally.
I missed, and I'm kicking myself. I wish I hadn't. Charlie Duke came and spoke at our church, and he was Apollo 16.
Yep.
And he does this. He tours around and speaks at churches. Right?
No doubt.
And I have not met him because I went to my kid had a football game. So unfortunately. But a lot of people did go that I know. So 2 degrees of separation is all I can claim.
Oh, I see. Well, so a guy spoke at your church, but you weren't there to see him talk about...
Charlie Duke speaks at churches still, and events, not just churches, but if you want.
A lot of people do that.
You've seen the, Buzz Aldrin and multiple others running away from reporters and, like, people that just want him to swear on Bibles that he went to the moon and stuff like that.
Yeah, if somebody asked you to swear on the Bible, what would you do?
Depends what we're talking about.
Something you felt strongly about, for example.
Something like, did you go to the moon? And I went to the moon? Yep.
Or how about I'm going to ambush you and harass you and not let you get away? Does it really matter what the topic is if I am harassing you and chasing after you?
Hold on, I got this, Jared.
Why is he being harassed about it?
So,
probably because it's fake and not believable, and there's been skeptics about the first moon landing since it happened.
If you're going to go to Buzz Aldrin, who after he landed on the moon took communion, right? And you're going to ask him to swear on the Bible, right? Do you know what the Bible says about swearing on the Bible?
Yeah. What does it say?
It says, Matthew 5:33. I tell you, do not swear an oath at all, either by heaven, for it's God's throne, or by earth, for it's his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it's the city of the great king. And do not swear by your head, for you cannot make even one hair white or black. All you need to say is simply yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. So
that's good. That coincides with what I was just thinking.
If he were
to
swear on the Bible, I would not believe him.
Yeah, but he didn't even he wasn't even leave me alone. Yes, I went to the moon.
Actually, yes, he was.
I'd like to see that, and maybe he'd convince me with his acting, but doubt it.
So your mind's already made up. If that's the case, why are you even
because I've already seen the evidence that you would show me.
Then please provide it. Please provide your evidence that
you
actually
guys are the one with 4 computers going.
No.
Okay, and 2 people at least, and you've done this how many times?
You have
the
more
same thing over and over again.
You have more people over there.
They don't know friggin' nothing about flat Earth, and they know a little bit what I've said to him throughout the years, and he's looked into it. But you can deceive so good when you practice the fake science and you look in the points.
What kind of ice cream is it?
You have 200 flat Earth talk points, and you look for every counter, and you can BS it like you know what you're talking about.
Anthony, hold on. We got something more important here. What kind of ice cream is that?
Looked into it for a long time. Let alone people that
let's get to the real topic at hand. I'm sorry, Miss, in the background. I didn't catch your name earlier if it was mentioned. But what flavor ice cream are you eating?
It's peanut butter cup fudge.
Peanut butter cup fudge.
Dude, that's awesome.
You ever had cup fudge?
It's actually frozen yogurt, but let's not get technical.
Oh, frozen yogurt's better than ice cream. It really is.
That's pretty good.
I'll say that.
It's good.
Once you grow up, you realize that.
Huh, live a little, huh?
With live and active culture.
But I'm on the
ingredients.
I'm on the lemon spectrum.
I just always wanted a chance to run a big truck, you know, run a splitter, 15 speed or something, but this hasn't happened yet. I think I could do it with little briefing and practice, you know.
A big
what
truck.
are your thoughts on?
Yo, you haul 100,000 pounds, woo-wee. I've hauled at least 20.
So we've got in the chat somebody that does drive semis.
Oh yeah, what's he drive?
All right, tell you what. How about this?
Okay.
We've kind of gone over a lot of things here, and we're kind of switching gears. How about this? Why don't we wrap this one up, and then we'll open it up. We'll start a new stream, and we'll call it an after show, and I'll bring in a couple other people, and we'll just have fun.
All right,
Sound
sure.
good?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yep.
So, all right, I'll wrap this up. I'll mute you guys, and let's see here. So, thank you, everybody. We're going to do an after show here, and I'll send out a few invites and stuff to some people, and if there's any, Cosmonaut 6 wants in, maybe Christ Puncher wants to be in. If there's any Flat Earthers that want to pop in, you could too. Gary, I'm looking at you, buddy. So we'll do that, and let's see. I gotta switch over. The end of this stream will be a little better than the end of the beginning of this one. So, all right, thanks everybody. Bye.